There are 6 inches between my front wheel and the rear wheel of the rider ahead of me at 20 miles an hour, and I trust him completely. I don't even know his last name. Talk about what happens inside a group ride, not the fitness side of it, not the training zones or the average speed or the elevation, the human side of it. The part that nobody really talks about because it's harder to put numbers on, because I think riding in a pack teaches you something about people and about yourself that you genuinely cannot learn anywhere else. And I've been trying to figure out exactly what that thing is for about 30 years now. I think I'm getting close to an answer. Let me start with the paceline because the paceline is where it all begins. If you've never ridden in a proper paceline, here is what it looks like from the inside. Single file line of riders, each one sitting inches behind the wheel of the person in front. The lead rider takes the full brunt of the wind. Everyone behind them is drafting, working significantly less hard for the same speed. After a set amount of time or distance, the lead rider pulls off to the side, drifts to the back of the line, and the next rider moves to the front. It is an elegantly simple system, and it runs entirely on trust. Not the kind of trust that builds over years of friendship, the kind of trust that gets established in about 90 seconds between people who may have only just met. You're trusting the rider ahead of you to hold their line, hold their speed, and signal anything that requires your attention, and they are trusting you to do the same. Break that trust and someone goes down. It's that direct, it's that immediate. I've thought about this a lot in the context of the rest of life. How rarely we operate in situations where the consequences of breaking trust are that immediate and that physical. Most of the ways we let people down in everyday life have a lag time. There's room to rationalize, to delay, to not quite notice the impact in real time. On a bike at 20 miles an hour, 6 inches off someone's wheel, there's no lag time. The feedback is instant. The accountability is built directly into the physics. And what I've noticed over 30 years of riding in groups is that the people who are trustworthy in a paceline tend to be trustworthy everywhere else too. There's something about the way a person holds their line on a bike that tells you a lot about how they hold their line in general. I don't know exactly why that correlation exists, but I've seen it enough times to believe it. Now let's talk about the climb, because the climb is where the group dynamic gets interesting in a completely different way. On a flat paceline, the group is unified by efficiency. Everyone benefits from everyone else. The system works because cooperation is literally faster than going alone. On a climb, that changes. A climb strips away the draft. There is no hiding on a climb. The road tilts up and suddenly everyone is riding their own ride, regardless of how close together they are. Your fitness, your weight, your gear, your mental state on that particular morning, all of it is suddenly and completely exposed. And this is where you find out something different about the people you're riding with. Not their trustworthiness in the paceline sense. Something more personal than that. You find out who they are when it gets hard. I've climbed with people who go quiet and internal when the road tilts up, who find whatever they need to find inside themselves and just grind. No drama, no conversation, just work. I've climbed with people who talk more when it gets hard, not less, who use the conversation to manage the effort in a way that seems counterintuitive until you realize it's actually working for them. I've climbed with people who crack and don't know how to handle it, who get angry or embarrassed or suddenly need to stop to adjust something that doesn't actually need adjusting. And I've climbed with people who crack and handle it with complete grace, who sit up, wave you on, and are genuinely smiling when you come back down to find them. Every single one of those responses tells you something real, something you wouldn't learn over a year of working in the same office or sitting across from someone at dinner. The climb has a way of introducing you to people properly. Then there's the descent. And the descent is its own education entirely. Going downhill in a group is the moment where the trust established in the paceline gets tested at the highest possible stakes. You are moving fast. The consequences of a mistake are significant, and you are still, somehow, 6 inches from the wheel in front of you. The riders who descend well in a group share a specific quality that I've noticed over and over. They're completely present. Not thinking about what's coming next or what just happened on the climb. Just there, in the moment, reading the road, reading the riders around them, making 100 small adjustments per minute without conscious thought. That quality of presence, the ability to be fully in the moment when the stakes are high and everything is moving fast, is something that the best riders have on the bike, and, in my experience, tend to have everywhere else too. It's not something you can fake. The descent finds it, or it doesn't. Here's the thing about group rides that I think gets missed in most conversations about cycling. We talk about them in terms of performance, faster average speeds, better fitness gains from the competitive dynamic, exposure to riders who push you beyond what you do alone. All of that is true. All of that matters. But the thing that keeps me showing up to group rides after 30 years isn't the performance benefit. It's something much simpler and much harder to quantify. It's the feeling of moving through the world in synchrony with other people. There's something deeply satisfying about a group of riders who have found their rhythm together. The sound of it, the way the line flows through a corner, the small signals that pass from rider to rider without words. It's not quite like anything else, and it taps into something old and fundamental about what it means to be a person among people, working together towards something, even when that something is just the next turn in the road. I've met some of the most important people in my life on group rides. People who became riding partners, then friends, then something closer than that. People who showed up on bikes as strangers and ended up being part of the fabric of how I understand the world. One of them motivated me to build VÉLOCLIQUÉ. One of them climbed Mont Ventoux while I watched from a distance and felt genuinely proud in a way that surprised me. One of them is gone now, in a way that still changes the shape of certain mornings. All of them came into my life through exactly this: a group of riders, a road, and the particular kind of honesty that happens when people are moving together and the conversation has nowhere to hide. I don't think that's an accident. I think the group ride creates the conditions for real connection in a way that most social contexts simply don't. The shared effort, the shared risk, the shared silence on a long climb when words would feel like too much anyway. If you've been riding solo and you haven't found your group yet, I want to say something directly. Go find one. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Every group has its own unspoken culture, its own pace, its own way of doing things. You will feel like an outsider for a few rides. That's normal, and it passes faster than you expect. What's on the other side of that discomfort is worth it, not just for the fitness, not just for the faster miles, but for the specific kind of knowing that comes from riding with people over time, from seeing how they handle the climb and the descent and the flat road in between, from being trusted 6 inches behind someone's wheel and trusting the person 6 inches behind yours. That's not a small thing. In a world that makes real connection increasingly hard to find, that's actually a pretty remarkable thing. Six inches between wheels at 20 miles an hour. Complete trust between people who may not know each other's last names. That's not just cycling. That's one of the best models for how to move through the world with other people that I've ever come across. The paceline holds because everyone does their part. The climb reveals who you actually are. The descent asks you to be completely present. And the road, as always, asks just one thing. Are you going to keep moving or not? VÉLOCLIQUÉ, from search to saddle.